Okay, we continue. Now we come back to Satta Visuddhi. The word Sila is a fundamental virtue of the Buddhist practice towards the liberation from samsara. So moral practice is very important. This ethical foundation that frees the mind from the roots of defilement, disrupt the mind of the individual and induce him to vicious behavior. So without ethics, you will become evil. So sila means abstinence from the vices such as cruelty to living beings, dishonesty, carnal misconduct, this is sexual misconduct, and mendacity, and should be developed by fostering positive and mental traits such as love, charity, honor, integrity, and restraint of the senses. So basically, control your senses. So when you talk about Patimokkha, it's a Samamera Sila. This belongs to the monk. Morality consisting in restraining with regard to the codified rules of monastic discipline. Okay, as a monk, I don't follow like the Shaolin monk. Morning is a monk, nighttime is a king. Okay, this is breaking the Patimokkha. Indriya Samamera Sila. Morality consisting of restraining the senses of faculty. This one is about controlling your senses. So if you no control senses, then as a monk, you really useless monk. Ajivika Parisuddha Sila. Morality consists of purity of livelihood. We laymen have our kind of livelihood plate listed our Buddha. Similarly for monk, right? The livelihood of monk, you cannot do a prediction, all that kind of to make money. Pachaya Sanisita Sila. Morality with regard to the four requisites. This one for a bhikkhu. Your monk, early Theravada monk, have only 4 requisites. Even the robe, you only have 3. You cannot own more than that. So these 4 are basically for monks to control all their kind of restraint. Patimokkha is a growth of the Buddhist Sangha as an organization where discipline was treated as a life blood discipline, become indispensable virtue of priesthood. So as a monk, people look upon you as an example to follow. So if you downgrade yourself, you earn no respect from the lay people. The moral concept assumes the form of injunction with penalty for breach, which eventually got codified into a compendium called Patimokkha. In the early 20 years, all the monks that joined the Sangha are all perfect, all nobles, okay, Aryan. They never commit any wrong. No rules are laid, so they are automatically of this nature. But after the 20 years, monks become all sort, all kind. And then these rules start becoming laws. And thus becoming a codified law as morality for monks to follow. Next one, Indriya, is a means to restrain the practicing monk of the 5 senses faculty. So monk at all times have to control the 5 sense faculty. Sense faculties have an innate tendency to seek gratification. Monk also human being. Only they wear a extra one robe. So if a monk never control his 5 faculty, then he better be a layman. So this tendency would develop into an immorality if he left unguarded. So guarding of the senses call for mental alertness and a sense of contentment. That's why monk failure, because they never got their mental alertness and also contentment. Next one, achiva. Achiva means livelihood, mode of living, or occupation. So in the context of monastic, is the discipline of practicing monkhood of purity, totally free from wrong livelihood. Text mentioned as wrongdoing monks seeking support for lives by unethical means such as listed below. So monk, like the Shaolin one, he do the temple as a sign of business cooperation, all kinds, even put his Shaolin as a propriety right. So whoever use Shaolin must pay him the money. Wrongdoing of monks listed below. Scheming, could handa, indirectly inducing gains, deception, trickery, or magic. Exactly like this, the Shaolin abbot. Talk, indirect persuasion, gains by flattery, ingratiating. I mean, sweet talk, hinting, or give a sign inducing a benefit. Especially monk, I want this tablet, then you give. Belittling, despairing the tale of bearing, and then pursuing gain with gain, going in search of gain to gain profit or one desire conquest. Okay, so all these are things that monks should not break. Then avijja, a number of activities generally pursued by other recluses, such as soothsaying, palmistry, and specifically prohibited by a monk. You can find this in Jala Sutta. Okay? It gives you a rundown of all the monks cannot perform, such as this black magic, reading palms, feng shui, all this all cannot be practiced. So a person who practices right livelihood is expected to cultivate positive qualities such as charity and pleasant speech. Example, that's why I never want to be a real estate agent. Previously, I was one of them. Because you cannot talk bad quality about your product. So all are full of lies. Right? If you feel that there is not a hindrance to you, then you carry on as an agent. If not, if you are honest one, you cannot be join the kind of field. So in Brahmajala Sutta, Buddha listed many livelihood not to be practiced as a monk. Yeah, you go and read through this, it's all down there. And next one, talking about morality amongst governing the use of four requisites. To practice continence in the enjoyment of the four requisites, limiting the enjoyment of items to the extent of just sufficient to satisfy physical need without deriving essential delight. So monk is to practice, not to enjoy as much as a lay people. To contemplate on each occasion when any item is enjoyed, the limitation satisfaction is to be derived. And then you, especially monk, eating food, they also be mindful of what they're eating. Bhikkhus avoid solid food from noon onwards, rejects ornamentals, perfume, no comfortable seat, refrain from fraud and deception. Then a general concept signified the 8 attainment, the 4 jhana, 4 arupa jhana, together with neighborhood concentration. This is talking about meditation. So as you progress, especially those you people practice meditation, you'll know all this, the jhana, arupa jhana, and these are neighborhood concentration. Mental attainments are the means of suppressing hindrances. So Citta Visuddhi is an endeavor to purge the mind of the hindrances by means of ecstasy attained to tranquility meditation. So when you achieve this certain state of meditation, you can suppress all these hindrances. Visuddhi Magga give a well-structured list of 40 objects of meditation for developing of tranquility meditation. Okay, this one we study in the early year. You want to go back to early years text. Of the 40 objects, 29 include the 10 kasina objects, namely perception of loathsomeness of food, analysis of animals produce neighborhood concentration. So Citta Visuddhi is an intermediate state of the path to the Citta Vimutti, which is the emancipation of mind, is the highest sense. The liberation from all passion, sense pleasure, continued existence, ignorant when complemented by the Panna Vimutti, represent the fruit of Arahantship. So you are working towards Arahantship. Purity of mind is a step leading to the next state, purity of view. Okay, so this one step after another. The purity you achieve by overcoming doubt is a discernment of the condition of the mind and matter. It's founded on wisdom and consists in the knowledge of causes and condition, the complex of mind and matter. Its occurrence and its continuity due to karma, which dispel doubt. This knowledge enables one to realize the second truth, the cause of suffering, more analytical explained by the law of dependent origination. So, dependent origination give a very clear explaining on the ending of suffering, the cause of suffering. We have this in the coming Abhidhamma lecture. Who clearly understand dependent origination is free from doubt with regard to things that have come into existence. Combination means that is a right path and what is not a right path. It based on the wisdom consists in the understanding which know the right path from the wrong path and it lead to the realization of noble truth of the path, leading to cessation of suffering as the Magga Satcha. So based on wisdom, then if you practice, you should know which is the right path to follow and which is the wrong path to avoid. The meditator comprehends the formation in terms of three characteristics by way of duration, continuity, moment, and as he contemplates the knowledge of rise and fall, then arise in the 10 conditions included an aura characteristic of the supreme enlightenment. So you practice insight, you talking about these three characteristics. So when you practice more, you are coming nearer to the enlightenment. The meditator, unless he is discerning, is prone to misconceive. That means at all times, he should be separating what is true, what is false. That he has reached the ultimate path and fruit. So as you progress, you must differentiate the path, whether you are right or wrong. With discrimination, he understands that those are really imperfection inside and he has not yet reached the ultimate goal. That's why some are led to the wrong path. They believe they have reached enlightenment. So you, as a practicing, you must know, have you attained that level? The discrimination between the 10 imperfections as not being the path and the practice of contemplating session as being the correct path is called the purity of knowledge. So you must attain the purity of knowledge and vision, what is path and what is not the path. So we go further. Patipada, the path or the means to reach the goal of destination, to reach Nibbana. Patipanna Dasana Visuddhi. purified by knowledge and purification of the way, meaning the way to realization of goal of Nibbana. Okay, now we're going to one by one, all these factors. We're talking about special knowledge. The knowledge of rise and fall, knowledge in contemplating the arising and cessation formation. For example, when you practice the vipassana, the rising of your stomach up and down. The rise and fall is discerned in terms of conditionality, understanding how formation arise to the causes and condition and how they assist with their cessation. So we must understand how this thing rise and fall and on what kind of condition and causes. And then you will need to know knowledge of dissolution. I mean, Banga, that means it's called dissolution. Banga Nupassana, the contemplation dissolution. As a meditator, knowledge become keen, he withdrew the attention from the arising and focus on cessation and the destruction of formation. So understanding through, you will destroy all this formation. Knowledge thus gain a knowledge of dissolution. So when you get dissolute, you will get destruction of formation. Next one, knowledge of fearful. As the meditator contemplates the dissolution of formation, all the 3 periods of time, you recognize that all such dissolution formation are fearful. Because when you start on the path of this understanding, you start think that just disappear, you get frightened. Okay, that's why fearful. All these are knowledge which you have never even contemplate on whether this is the truth. Knowledge thus is gained is knowledge of the fearful. So when you encounter this fearfulness, then it's a means of gathering a new knowledge. Then another one, knowledge of danger. This knowledge of consisting in recognition that all formation are fearful. So when you see something that new arises, then become fearful. And defeat of any core security lies only in the unconditional state. Because this is the unconditional state which you have never encountered to and become fearful. And knowledge of disenchantment. This is a knowledge contained in the disenchantment that one and angers on being convinced that all formation are fraught with danger, taking no delight in them. So all these are a kind of thing for you to learn. So you are away from frightening to go forward. And then knowledge of desire for deliverance. So when you experience all this, knowledge is born of desire for being delivered from the whole field of formation and from escaping from it. Okay, so especially those you wouldn't like, you try to escape from it. Knowledge of effective contemplation. This is a knowledge derived by meditator from reflective contemplation of formation in his examination of them while seeking deliverance from the whole field of formation. Okay, the thing you run through, and then you see the kind of new thing which you have discovered. This is called a reflection over it. And then knowledge of equanimity towards formation. This knowledge born out of equanimity towards all formation developed by the meditator. After he abandoned all both the terror and delight, in which state he see nothing in the formation as taken as I or mine. So even the good or the frightening one, he abandoned everything. Next one, the knowledge of conformity. This knowledge is called adaptation to truth. Since while contemplation characteristic of formation, you adapt yourself to the preceding 8 inside knowledge. So when you go through this, you will gain this kind of 8 inside knowledges to the intermediately follow the stages of super mundane path. So you must go to this state, overcoming it. Then you will go to the 8 inside knowledge, and then you slowly proceed to the super mundane path. So this 8 inside knowledge, you must know it well also. So you answer this question, Visuddhi one. Knowledge of distinguished mind and matter, knowledge of conditionality, knowledge of comprehension, knowledge of arising and passing away, knowledge of dissolution, knowledge of fear, knowledge of danger, and knowledge of disenchantment. Okay, so all these 8 inside knowledge need to remember when they ask you about this Visuddhi. Is the knowledge associated with any of the 4 super mundane consciousness? Immediately upon the adaptation knowledge, there arise the maturity knowledge, or what I call Gotabu Nada, taking taking as its object the unconditional Nibbana, transcending the rank Gotra of the worldling, and enter the rank of the noble ones, meaning the first turning towards Nibbana. So we must adapt this adaptation knowledge. Then when this one arises, maturity knowledge will arise, taking the as the object of unconditional Nibbana. And then you will go to the Gotra and the worldling Buddha, the lay people, and entering the rank of the noble one. I mean, you cross. There's a thing that when you come to a certain state of meditation, you are a layman. Now you break the level, you will cross to the noble one. They call it Arya. So this is the first turning towards Nibbana. So your meditation inside, you're able to cross this one to the next state. Is the first winning thing towards Nibbana. As the immediate continuation follow, upon that maturity knowledge of there arises the first path consciousness, destroying the 3 out of 10 factors. So upon crossing to here, you are attaining the first path. You destroy 3 out of the 10 factors. Okay, so it's not easy. This is the Vipassana crossing over to from the layman to a noble person. This process continues until all the 10 factors are destroyed in one stroke or successfully. I mean, you will carry on practicing. Then at any one time, you will destroy one, or you can totally destroy all the 7. When the 4th path consciousness, Arahat Magga Chitta arises, this is when you reach this Arahat state. 4th path consciousness, Arahat Magga Chitta. This Nana Dasana Visuddhi is a knowledge of the 4 paths, which constitute the means of attainment of the final deliverance. I mean, towards Paridimana, as enunciated in the Rata Vinita Sutta. Okay, this was prescribed in this particular sutta. So the 7 stages of purity are to be attained in a sequence, each being the support for the one that follows. I mean, every level, every state you must attain before you're able to go to the next state. So you cannot escape any one of state. So you must go through all the 7 stages. The first purity relates the factor of morality of the 3 training. The second to the concentration, and the last 5 to the wisdom. The first 6 are mundane in character, and the 7 super mundane. Okay, so you must know all these stages. Okay, they will ask you on this. Okay, so come to the tutorial. How many person left? Ayo.
Now Radhiko and I are here.
I think you two have to attempt 2 questions each. Slowly read through because the Visuddhi very hard to understand. digest through. So you try your best. Brother go, first one. Okay, brother go.
Okay.
All right for you?
Okay. I'll try.
You try your best. Anything I try help out. Then second one, explain the four components of purity or morality. Sister Sumeta.
Okay.
And third one, brother go again. Discuss how morality consisting of purity of livelihood may be practiced by bhikkhu or the householder.
Okay.
And sister, explain a given state of purity. Just one state, Visuddhi. Okay, today less people, no choice. You all two have to help out.
Okay. No
Yeah.
problem. Okay.
Slowly read through. I think it's hard to understand the Visuddhi. You read a couple of times. Okay, so
Okay.
this one, one question is, sister already listed out the question for you in the previous year one. So cannot escape. The early part is my explanation to mindfulness. So I think it'll help to you for you to understand in depth of those things.